Hey friends, it's Hannah. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to turn these vintage coveralls into a super cool jacket, complete with a functional zipper as well as a nice and clean hem on the bottom. I have a full-length Google Doc that also has each step in this process. That will be in the description of this video if you'd like to follow along there instead. Can't wait to see what you guys make. Hey there friends, it's Hannah. I'm back with a new DIY video. It's been a while since I posted a video and I wanted to come back strong with this DIY to turn these coveralls into jackets. So I'm going to be recording two separate videos. The first video is going to be how to make it into a cropped jacket, which is what I'm going to be doing with this one. And then the other video that I'm going to be posting is how to make it into a chore jacket, which is a little bit longer than a cropped jacket, and I'm going to be using this jacket for that. The chore jacket is going to be a little bit more complicated, so that's why I'm going to do a whole separate video on that. But today's video, we will be talking about the cropped jacket. I do want to say that I am not the first person to do this. I have seen a lot of people do it online, but the reason I'm making this full-length, like in-depth YouTube tutorial video is because I haven't seen anyone do an in-depth tutorial video about this. I've seen people do it on Instagram where they just cut off the bottom and then they call it a day. I just haven't seen a super in-depth tutorial about it. So I wanted to give that to you guys. All right, so the coveralls I'm going to be working with today are these vintage, I believe, early 1980s Walls Blizzard Proof USA insulated apparel coveralls. Here is the paper tag, which is barely readable, but it does say it is a size medium. These coveralls are insulated and they have this like quilted red lining that is very insulated. So when you do crop it, you are going to be working with a couple layers, but we'll get there. All right, so I have the coveralls in front of me. First thing we're going to do is remove this front zipper. I use a seam ripper for this project and I recommend that you use that as well, just because that's the easiest. I know some people who don't use a seam ripper sometimes prefer using a razor. So whichever works best for you, I just like using a seam ripper. As I am seam ripping the zipper off in this video, I want to let you guys know the materials that you will need for this project. So you'll need a pair of coveralls with a waistband, a seam ripper or razor to remove the zipper, fabric shears or scissors to crop the jacket as well as cut the thread that you will be sewing with. You will also need sewing pins, a measuring tape, a replacement zipper, which I will show you in the video how to measure and get that from the craft store. And you will need thread that matches the color of the jacket as well as thread that matches the zipper fabric color, and you will also need a sewing machine and also a lint roller. That is optional as well. There is a link to a Google Doc in the description of this video listing all the supplies. Okay, so now the zipper is out. We've completely removed the zipper from the front of this. That's all we've done so far. Here's the zipper. We're not going to be using this for this project, but if you want to use it for future projects, you absolutely can. So I got a lint roller just to remove these little threads from the zipper that we removed. It works really well at just removing all the little threads. I was actually thinking about reusing the zipper for this project because the only reason we removed the zipper is because it went further than the waistband and we're going to be cropping it at the waist. So my original thought was, you know, we could just move it up and then we could like crop it, put in some zipper stops up here, and then we could reuse this vintage zipper with the vintage jacket. But I realized that we can't do that because this is not a jacket zipper. So what that means is that a jacket zipper is one that completely separates, like the two sides completely come apart so you can like, you know, zip it up and down like the front of a jacket. This is not one of those zippers. So this is just a regular zipper where it doesn't come apart at the end, kind of like a dress zipper or like a zipper for a pocket. This does not come apart at the end, and for some reason it does have another zipper down there, which I don't know why, but we cannot reuse this zipper, unfortunately. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the craft store, and I'm going to find a zipper that is the length of where we're going to crop it, all the way up to wherever we want the zipper to stop. Before I do that, I am going to crop it where we want it to be. So I'm going to be cropping it right under the waistband. I wouldn't crop it above the waistband because then we wouldn't have anything to put the raw hem, sew the raw hem back into. If you want a raw hem, then you can absolutely crop it here, but I wouldn't recommend it for a couple reasons. Number one, because there is a couple of layers on this jacket, and so we don't exactly know how they're going to react to, you know, going in the wash, going through wear and tear. I know for a fact underneath this quilted layer, I think there's some batting because it is quilted, and personally, I think most people and myself wouldn't want just like loose batting around, so you don't really want to crop above there because it would be raw, and we don't know how the other layers are going to react to being washed and stuff like that. So you're just going to crop it right under here. There we go. See, we got a couple weird layers in here. So we're cropping right under the waistband. Beautiful, beautiful. So we're just gonna open it up. I'm just gonna keep cropping it. So now we have this cropped jacket. So after taking out the zipper and cropping it, we are left with this really cool vintage cropped jacket. Now, this step is where a lot of people stop. A lot of people just remove the zipper, crop it, and then call it a day. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna redo the hem so it doesn't fray when you go to wash it, and it'll just last longer. And also because I wanted to show you guys something, you can see all of the layers in here. And the reason why we're going to be redoing the hem is because when you go to wash it and stuff, all of this will start fraying, and I mean, it's already doing it, but we just want to prevent that for the future. If that's the look that you're going for and you want a raw hem, feel free to leave it, but I think I'm going to seam rip some of this and try to get it to go over the edge. So we're going to be fixing the hem, and we're going to be putting a new zipper in. Before I head there, I do want to measure how long I need the zipper to be. So I think on the original jumpsuit, I think the zipper only came about 1.5 inches down from the top. So that's what we're going to do. We're not going to go all the way to the top with the zipper, although some people do, but we're just going to go probably 1 inch down. So looks like we will need about a 17-inch zipper for this jacket. So I'm at the craft store right now. And what you really want to look for when you're buying zippers is make sure it says separating. That's really what you want to look for. And then usually the length is on it as well. Because like these zippers over here that say invisible, those don't separate. That's not what you want. This is probably exactly what I'm looking for, the heavy jacket zippers. So I'm looking for 17-inch. So I just picked out 2 zippers, and I actually brought the jackets with me to the store because I wanted to like compare the other zippers and stuff and see which color zipper would match the little fixtures and snaps and the zippers that are already on the jacket. So since this has gold zippers for the pockets already, and these snaps are silver, but I think I want to do gold to match the zippers. I picked out these 2 gold zippers. This one is only 1 inch longer than what I need, but this part is brown. And this part is black, which I think I would want because the black would match the collar. I think I'm just going to get both, see what works when I get back at the house. The zipper that I bought was 20 inches long, and I needed it to be 17 inches. So what I did was I just trimmed the top of the zipper with some scissors to where I needed it to be. And I have zipper stops, and you can put zipper stops up at the top, and I was trying to do that, but it ended up not working because I think the zipper stops I have are too small. I could go buy some more, but what I'm actually going to do is when I lay it down to sew, I'm just going to fold the zipper top like over. So then when, you know, you zip it up all the way, it doesn't like go off. You don't just want to cut it and sew it without folding it or putting a zipper stop on, because the zipper will just slide off the track. When I go to sew this on, I'm just going to fold it over maybe 1/2 inch and then just kind of back stitch it up there so the zipper doesn't come off when it's zipped up all the way. So before we sew on the zipper, what we're going to do is we're going to seam rip the bottom half of this waistband, because as you can see, like, even though we cut it, like, it's still raw, we can see all the layers, but what isn't raw is this part of the waistband. So my idea, what I had in mind, was I was going to seam rip the bottom, open it up, and then fold it over the bottom and then re-sew it. Hey there, friend. As you're going through this tutorial, if you run into any issues, feel free to message me on Instagram, and I'd love to help you through this tutorial. My Instagram is @HannahValentine, Hannah with 3 N's, and make sure to subscribe if you like this content and want to see more DIY videos. Okay, so now that I've opened up the fabric a little bit, here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to, I guess this piece would just come out, but it looked like the waistband here, it looks like that's what connected the pants to the top, because I think they were made separately. So as I'm pulling this out, what I'm going to do is when I'm done, this kind of, ignore this, I accidentally cut that. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fold it over and sew it back. And again, ignore this piece, like that's not supposed to be like that. I just cut it on accident, but hopefully I'm explaining this well. And this is turning out how I'd like it to as well. All right, so I'm currently at my sewing machine. I just seam ripped so on the waistband, I just seam ripped the bottom 2 threads because there's 2 threads on the top, 2 threads on the bottom. I just seam ripped the bottom 2 threads, which freed the fold. Let me show you guys. Here's the outside of the jacket. I seam ripped these 2 seams right here, left these 2 seams on. You definitely want to keep those 2 on, but I seam ripped the bottom 2. So what that did is that allowed us to open up the waistband like this. So this is the edge of the fabric, and what the waistband did is it just folded over to make the waistband. But why I seam ripped it is because we wanted to cover the raw hem. So what we're going to do now is, here's the inside of the fabric. We're going to take the outside waistband, that fold, and instead of having it fold inside, we're going to fold it over and we're going to sew it like that. So when you sew the bottom waistband, make sure that your thread is the same color as the jacket. So as we re-sew this hem, we are going to be doing 2 stitches. So in the video, it's kind of hard to tell with the editing, but I went through once with 1 straight stitch, and then I went back with another one so it looked like the original. So now if you look at the hem of the jacket, it is all nice and neat. Here's what it looks like after folding it over and sewing it. It looks very nice. In hindsight, I do want to say that just because I just folded it over and sewed it, this like edge right here, it's definitely going to fray once it gets washed. It's already starting to fray. So in the future, I would suggest either zigzag stitching the edge or serging the edge before you sew it, just so it doesn't do that. Forgot to do that, but I do recommend it for the future. But yeah, now we're going to sew the zipper on. So for this jacket, I'm just going to sew in the zipper how it was on the coveralls. You can kind of see the line where the stitch was for where the zipper was before. I'm just going to line it up on that same spot and just sew it in literally the same exact spot. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to separate the zipper before I sew it on. So you see, I'm not putting it directly to the edge because I want to match up with the seam where it was before. When we get to the top, usually zippers have a stop, but like I said, I got a zipper that was way too long for this jacket and I had to trim it. So what I'm going to end up doing is just folding it over just about 1/2 inch, just so the zipper doesn't run off the track. Usually you wouldn't have to do this if you got a zipper that's the correct size, but I'm just working with what I got. So I'm just folding it over, and then I'm gonna sew it like that. And as you can see, the zipper doesn't go all the way to the top of this jacket. It wasn't like that on the coveralls, so I'm okay with doing that on the jacket as well. All right, make sure you switch your thread color to the color of the zipper, not the color of the jacket. Unless it is the same color, then you can keep the threads how they were. So usually you would use a zipper foot to sew a zipper. I don't have one, and I'm okay with it not being directly up against the zipper. That's usually why you use a zipper foot. So I'm just kind of going to do it close to this edge, and because that's how it was on the coveralls. Using the zipper as a guide is really helpful because you can just press the zipper up against the side of the foot. So when you get to the bottom of the zipper, you're not going to be able to go all the way down with the zipper still here. So what you're going to want to do is make sure that the needle is in the fabric, lift up the foot, and you're going to push the zipper up past the foot. And the reason why we want to make sure the needle's in the fabric is so the fabric doesn't move, and then we want to lift up the foot so the zipper has enough room to go through. But now you can just sew the rest. back stitch. And that side is done. I'm gonna go back up to the top of this because all we did was fold it over. It's not very secure, the zipper could still come off, so what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna sew a line at the top here, and I think that should be enough to secure it. You wanna make sure not to get the needle stuck in the zipper teeth. It won't go through, so you just gotta be careful about it. If you end up doing this step, just make sure that you like manually do some of the sewing, and also, and by manually I just mean turn the thing that moves the needle. There we go. So that should be good now. Yeah, that zipper is not coming off now. Alright, so now we just sewed on one half of the zipper. And now we're going to sew on the other half. I'm super happy with how this turned out. It looks very nice. Sewing the second part of the zipper on is not the same as a typical zipper. I'm just copying the format of how it was on the coveralls. So this is how the first side went. We sewed the left side first. I just attached the other side to it just to see how it looked. It looks great. So usually with zippers, you would just sew like the other side next to it so you can still see the zipper when you have the jacket on. But with the coveralls, the jacket was actually covered, or the zipper was actually covered by this side of the fabric. I'm going to be sewing the other side of the zipper like this, where the teeth are out. And so when it zips up, the zipper is covered. So if you want me to show you again, this is how the zipper is. I flip it over so the teeth are facing the other way, and then I'm going to place it on the flap. And again, like this side, I kind of just want to see where the zipper like thread was, and I just want to go over that so the zipper is in the same place. So it looks like the zipper was like right up against this serged line, so that's what I'm going to do for this side. And just like the other side, when you get to the top, you just want to fold it over about 1/2 inch. Again, this is just if you cut it. If you didn't cut it and it already has a zipper stop up there, you don't have to worry about this step. But I am doing this because the store did not have the length I needed. Just want to clarify that so y'all aren't folding your zippers if you got to stop at the top, because I don't. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and sew this side. And for this side, I actually want to change the thread back to the jacket color because you're going to be able to see it from this side.
Hey there, friend. We are in the final step of making this cropped jacket. I just wanted to come in with the voiceover to say that my camera dies while I'm sewing, but this is the final step of making the jacket. And after you are done sewing in the right side of the zipper, you are all good to go. The jacket is completely done. I am so proud of you, and I would love to see the jacket that you made. If you want to message me on Instagram with a picture of the jacket, I would love to see it. My Instagram is at Hannah Valentine, Hannah with 3 N's. If you guys like this tutorial, I will be posting another tutorial on how to make another kind of jacket from a pair of coveralls called a chore jacket. That tutorial will be posted later on after this video, so please subscribe if you guys like videos like this. Give me video suggestions in the comments. I'm open to anything that you guys want me to make, and I hope you all have a good time making this. Again, let me know if you have any questions. Hope you all have a wonderful time crafting.